Let's be brutally honest. You are probably the reason your friends hate how they look in pictures. You sit across from someone who looks radiant in real life, snap a quick photo, and suddenly they look like a startled hostage in a ransom video. What do? You blame the harsh lighting, you blame the phone's lens, or worse, you shrug and hand them the ultimate insult. I guess you're just not photogenic. Let me stop you right there. Unphotogenic is the biggest myth in modern photography. It's not a genetic flaw, it's a convenient lie we use to excuse our own lazy habits. When a beautiful, living human turns into a distorted potato on your camera roll, that's not an identity crisis. It's a crisis of your own decision making. Most people treat their cameras like passive vacuum cleaners, mindlessly sucking up whatever is in front of them. But photography is an act of deliberate curation. Every time you lift your phone, you are the director, the filter, and the judge of that exact microsecond. If you refuse to take that responsibility seriously, your results will always be mediocre. Photography isn't a passive act of recording reality, it's an aggressive act of selection. Most people are visual photocopiers, just scanning the mess in front of them and hitting print. They see a busy street, a sunset, and a person, and they think the more they include, the more memory they save. But you need to be a visual editor. You have to decide what matters and, more importantly, what deserves to be thrown in the trash. If you don't make the decision of what the viewer should see, randomness will make it for you. And randomness is always a terrible photographer. It chooses the wrong focal point, the wrong background clutter, and the most awkward facial expressions. I am Mr. Simple, and I use the simplest ways to help you master photography. Let's dive into the first structural shift, the law of subtraction. Most beginners think photography is about adding. They think they need more detail, more objects, more scenery, more interesting things. At first glance, that sounds logical. More content should mean a better story, right? Wrong. Think about a busy city street. There are taxis honking, neon signs flashing, pedestrians walking in every direction, and reflections bouncing off every window. Everything feels visually rich in real life because our eyes have the ability to focus and blur out the rest. But a camera sensor is a flat, literal device. It records everything with equal importance. When you include everything, nothing stands out. You end up with a frame where your subject is fighting for survival against a street sign or a trash can. Subtraction is about removing competition for attention. It's not just about deleting objects, it's about making the subject inevitable. Think of the frame as a limited resource of mental energy. Every extra element you include, a stray power line, a bright red car in the distance, a messy tree branch, is a tax on the viewer's attention. By the time their eyes find your subject, they are already exhausted. This is why professional photos feel clean. It's not because they were taken in a clean place, it's because the photographer performed a visual amputation on the irrelevant parts of the world. The most practical way for a regular person to do this is to embrace the 2x or 3x lens on their phone. Stop using the wide angle for everything. Wide-angle lenses are for landscapes, not for people. When you use a telephoto lens, the background narrows, the distractions vanish, and your subject finally has room to breathe. Now, let's move to the second shift, the performance trap. This is where 99% of portraits die a quiet death. Most people's default setting when they hold a camera is to say, "Look at me and smile." The second those words leave your mouth, the vibe is gone. Eye contact triggers a specific self-monitoring system in the human brain. The moment someone feels a lens staring at them like an unblinking eye, they stop existing and start performing. They wonder if their hair is okay, if their double chin is showing, if their smile looks natural. And because they are thinking about looking natural, they look the exact opposite. They become a statue of themselves. Even the most beautiful person in the world can look stiff and awkward when they are forced into a performance mode. The fix is simple. Kill the direct gaze. When you tell a subject to look away at a distant building, at their coffee, or even at their own feet, The psychological pressure evaporates. The observer effect vanishes. You are no longer taking a photo of them, you are observing them in their world. This creates a cinematic quality that direct eye contact can almost never achieve. It turns the viewer into a voyeur of a private moment rather than the recipient of a staged pose. Try using specific prompts to guide their eyes. Don't just say look away. Say look at that bird over there, or think about what you want to eat for dinner. When people process a thought, their eyes gain a depth and a focus that is impossible to fake. That micro-expression of a brain actually working is what makes a portrait feel alive. It's the difference between a mugshot and a masterpiece. The third shift is the life principle, movement. In real life, humans are never truly static. We are always shifting our weight, adjusting our clothes, or moving our hands. Yet, when we stand in front of a camera, we tend to freeze. We lock our knees, our arms go limp, and we look like we've been taxidermied. This lack of motion is a massive red flag to the viewer's brain. We are biologically hardwired to detect life through motion. If a photo feels dead, it's usually because the person looks like they've stopped breathing. Movement isn't just decoration, it is evidence of existence. If there is no motion, the brain interprets the image as artificial, no matter how high the resolution is. To solve this, stop telling people to stay still. Instead, give them a task that involves continuous motion. Tell them to walk slowly toward you, but to look at the shop windows as they pass. Tell them to play with their hair or adjust their watch. When the body is moving, the muscles align in a way that looks rhythmic and natural. The tension in the neck disappears and the shoulders drop. Use your phone's burst mode to catch the in-between moments. The best photo is rarely the one where they are fully posed. It's the one taken a half second before or after they were ready. It's that moment where they were at how awkward they felt. That's the kinetic truth. That is where the person's real personality leaks through the cracks of the performance. Beyond these three shifts, we have to talk about the architecture of light. Most regular people think light is just a tool to help the camera see. They want as much of it as possible. They turn on all the overhead lights or use a harsh front-facing flash. But if you show everything, you explain nothing. Light is for seeing, but shadow is for feeling. Shadow is what creates the three-dimensional shape of a face. It's what gives a jawline its edge and eyes their depth. When you blast someone with light from the front, you flatten them. You turn a human being into a 2D sticker. To fix this, always look for directional light. Find a window and have the person stand so the light hits them from the side. Let the other half of their face fall into a shadow. This isn't artistic fluff. It's how you create the illusion of reality on a flat screen. Combining these shifts creates a powerful system of visual design. Subtraction removes the noise. No eye contact removes the pressure. Movement restores the life. And directional light adds the depth. When you apply this system, you stop being a victim of the environment and start being the architect of the image. You aren't just taking a picture anymore, you are making a statement. Most people are accidental photographers who hope beauty will just happen to be there. But beauty in a photo is not a byproduct of the subject. It is a byproduct of your intent. It is about your willingness to say no to the clutter and yes to the signal. Think about the photos that have stayed with you over the years. They aren't usually the ones where everyone is perfectly sharp and looking at the camera. They are the ones that felt like a fragment of a real life. The ones where you could almost hear the laughter or feel the wind. You can't capture that by following a checklist of poses. You capture it by understanding the psychology of the person in front of you. Taking a good photo of someone is an act of empathy. You are creating a space where they feel safe enough to be themselves. You are choosing to see the best version of them and immortalizing it. Most people hate having their photo taken because they've been photographed by people who were too lazy to see them. When you take the time to subtract the noise and find the movement, you are telling that person that they are worth the effort. The world is a chaotic and messy place. It is filled with distractions, competing signals, and visual garbage. Your job as a photographer is to be the ultimate filter. You are the one who stands between the chaos and the viewer and says, ignore all of that. Look at this. If you fail to make that choice with conviction, you are just adding to the noise of the world. But if you make that choice clearly, you create a visual anchor. You create something that resonates across a screen and hits someone in the heart. This doesn't require a $10,000 camera. It doesn't require a studio. It just requires you to change the way you see before you even touch the shutter button. So, here is your assignment for the week. I want you to take 10 portraits. Don't go anywhere special. Just use your living room, your backyard, or a sidewalk. But you must follow these rules strictly. Use your 2 excellence only. Tell your subject they are forbidden from looking at the lens, and they must be doing something. Walking, drinking tea, or flipping through a book. Don't worry about the perfection of the shot. Just focus on the structural shifts. When you look at the results, you will notice something incredible. The person didn't change. Their photogenic quality didn't change, but the meaning of the image did. You have successfully moved from recording a person to documenting a soul. Photography is the art of deciding what reality feels like. It's not about the gear in your bag, it's about the structure of your scene. Once you master these shifts, the camera becomes an extension of your will rather than a barrier between you and the world. You'll realize that the most beautiful things in life aren't found, they are curated. You are not a collector of scenes, you are an editor of existence. Stop letting the world decide what your photos look like. Take control of the attention. Break the performance trap. Let things move. And once you do that, you realize that everyone is photogenic. They just needed someone who knew how to look at them. I am Mr. Simple, and I use the simplest ways to help you master photography. Remember, the camera is just a tool, but your eyes are the true lens. What you choose to leave out is just as important as what you choose to keep in. See you in the next one. Peace.